What's good, everybody, and welcome to Moments with the Mobleys. I am your man, Johnny Mobley Jr.,
And I'm his wife, Deirdra Mobley,
and we something like an ordinary couple.
with extraordinary purpose. Greetings, salutations, accolades, and blessings. Greetings, salutations, accolades, and blessings. Hey,
What's up?
I'm all right. You all right?
All right.
Then now be satisfied.
Something I actually talked to had a session with her husband last night.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about it a little bit.
Oh, that's even better. That's even better. High quality silk. Then now be satisfied with you.
Let me tell y'all what she looking at.
You want me to tell you? You want me to tell you what it is?
Flowers.
You want me to explain that?
Mm-hmm.
You want me to tell you what it is?
You said we was gonna do that after you finish.
And I will. I was just looking at it. My daughter needs help with some flowers for the wedding. My opinion.
I thought she was gonna tell me off.
I wasn't gonna tell you off. I don't ever tell you off, Johnny. Don't let the people think that I'm just a reckless wife.
Telling me off ain't being reckless.
It's being disrespectful.
It's sharing your feelings.
But I don't tell you off. I know how to share my feelings with you without per se telling you off. Hey.
You gonna slap me and then you gonna talk about some
Hey, Mo. How you doing, baby?
I'm fine.
That's good. You so beautiful.
Listen, me and my wife sometimes have conversations, and I don't be understanding. She says every now and then she have a conversation but she be trying to talk to me while I'm sleepy.
Right.
And then she be asking me stuff, and I be answering, giving her answers that to a question she ain't never asked. Mm-hmm. But she do that to me while she wake.
You want to give an example?
I ain't got one.
Oh, okay. Because I want you to tell the truth and shame the devil.
I ain't got one.
Oh, okay.
I ain't telling the truth.
You all right?
I ain't telling the truth.
You're a little bit truthful when you're sleepy.
Well,
nasty
hopefully,
and you honest.
Hopefully, I'm honest all the time. I just find the right words to use.
Blatantly truthful.
Yeah, I ain't got no. It ain't no
like
coding.
The other night I said, babe, I was rubbing your arm, I think, and your head, and I said, did I say something about? I want you, or I really want you, or something I said to you. You said, okay, have a good night.
I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that.
Yeah, you said it. I said, oh, okay then, well, good night. And I moved over onto my side and built my fort. And you wonder why I got a fort.
This joker.
Why do I have a fort? Because you tell me to go over and have a good night.
I ain't see how she asked stuff. She just said, I said, have a good night. Now she said, I said, go over and have a good night.
Same, go over, have a good night. Have a good night, same thing.
That's a different. That's the perspective. When you got something already in your mind and you get the words, and then your mind help you change it, and then you say what you heard and not what was actually said.
Well, at the end of the day, the directive was the same.
In your opinion.
Have a good night. You didn't say, well, I want you too, baby. You say, okay, have a good night.
I don't even remember it.
That is equivalent to go over on your side and go to sleep,
I don't
Joker.
even remember that. But she always try to have deep conversations with me when I'm sleeping. I don't know what you want, man.
Babe.
You know, this sleep be hard to get sometime. And when I get it, I try to get all the way in there.
I know you do. Say that last part again?
Nope.
Okay.
You had a chance. You ain't saying nothing.
Listen, y'all. I did something today. It may not be a lot to other people, but it's a lot to me. I started back my exercising outside of the house. And so I'm excited about it. I'm gonna try to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And Jameson dropped the pen and he mad because he got to bend over. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all.
What face he made? What face he made? I missed it.
Said, here was a boop. We just talking about it. We joking. We just joking. We just joking with Jameson. And so I have been having some issues with my knees, with my legs, y'all.
With her body.
Yeah, in general. But with the motivation and the support, little push from not only my husband, but my daughter, I put my tennis shoes on this morning. And I got up and I went and did it. I posted it as well. And so, yeah, that is it. And I'm excited. I called my husband on Google Meet to show him that I was actually outside walking. And he said, okay, all right, I'll call you back. You didn't. I'm lying. Now, see, that part I am lying on. You said, that's good. You said, baby, you called me to show me that you was walking. I said, yeah, I wanted you to see it. And so you said, okay, well, good job. Okay, very good. I said, well, you sound like you're busy. He said, I am. I said, well, go ahead. We'll talk later. But you being the wonderful and beautiful and supportive husband that you are, you called me back later and you said, baby, did I tell you that I was proud of you?
Yeah.
And I said, no, because I think you were involved in some things. And so you told me that you were proud of me. And so that means a lot. Well, so thank you.
I am. And I pray that you getting back active like that is going to soothe and begin a process healing of the stuff in your body. So I can push your leg back up while she exercises. Y'all nasty. You know when she lay down and she do the reverse crunches. See? Y'all nasty.
Well, they really can't comment because this is not a live recording.
Yeah,
so
well, I know what they're thinking.
Say, well, no, you nasty because we didn't say nothing about it.
When I said push her leg back, you know it. What you were thinking. Exactly.
Okay, so listen, guys.
Jay, what you was thinking when I said?
You know what he was thinking. You didn't even have to ask him what he was thinking. So, baby.
Yes.
Is there such thing as I need space in a relationship or a marriage? What does that look like? And that's what we're talking about today, y'all. I need space. Y'all ever heard y'all spouse say that? Y'all husband or your wife say that? Have you? How did you handle it? How did you take it? How did it make you feel?
I don't think.
Did you feel abandoned? Because I think there are different meanings when we get, and we're gonna, dive just a little bit deep, just a little deep, just tip, and come back out into this subject.
I think the verbiage need to be changed. When you married, saying that you need space, it automatically equivalates with you need space, like time away from us,
right?
Like outside the house, right. And you need to go somewhere, like on a vacation or something. When I have moments,
well, let's go back to okay, so not to interrupt you, but let's preface it with this because I need space, or he needs space. There was somebody else saying it for him. So let's preface it with because of course I want to we want to share. I'd like for us to share what that looks like now for us. Like you said, what the verbiage means, maybe a way to explain it better. But how this phrase was introduced into our marriage was one of the times that Johnnie left. I think it may have been the last time that you left. And I called your parents' house looking for you, and your daddy told me that you was over there, but you was tired and you needed some space. So then I started laughing when I I was reading the topic. I started laughing. So you want to share about that?
About that time? That moment?
Yeah, I think it's gonna help somebody.
Well, it wasn't a lie. I would probably say now that I need a moment. So and we've cleaned up a lot of the stuff, so it's not the issues that it was before. So, back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted a clean house, pine saw, all that good stuff. And then I put it in a place to where I said, well, just clean the parts that I go in. And, so and when I
But it
explained
wasn't just
it,
about the house, though.
it wasn't. It wasn't just about the house. It was about a lot of stuff. And me and one of my clients last night, we was talking, and I think he's in the place that I was back then. I he said I'm always being pulled on, and it's like nobody genuinely asks me if I'm good, if I need anything or anything like that. He said, when he's at work, people are asking him for stuff. When he come home, people asking him for stuff all the time. So it's like he's never had a time to just sit down and take a deep breath. And what I told him was, let them know you need 2 days out the week, where you need about 45 minutes to an hour, a moment to decompress. Everybody needs that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what that was then.
Right.
What I used to do was leave work and then go drinking and then go home. And then I was just numb. So when I was asked questions of stuff to do, I would just say yes to everything until I fell asleep or whatever the case is. And that wasn't no way to fix it. But um I think it is necessary. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't say need space, because that cognitively gets you thinking that whenever you hear I need space, you always think so you need to be it's literally you need to be apart, away from me, away from the house, for amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And that might not be what it is. Some might be that, but most of them might not be what it is. So I changed mine to, babe, I need to decompress. Give me a minute, And most of the time when I tell her that, she pulls back and she let me take my minute to do whatever for 45 minutes to an hour, whatever the case is. And then once that happens, then I get back into interacting with my family and stuff like that. But everybody needs that. I wouldn't say take that moment away from the house. Um, as long as there's an understanding in your home to do that, then I think that's very healthy. That's very healthy, because you never know, something might happen at work that just upsets you. You probably might be tired, and your patience is real short right now, and you might say something to your wife or to your kids that wasn't for them, but you respond from a place with the right verbiage for what's going on in your family, but the aggressiveness is coming from a different place that was already at your job or whatever the case is, that you didn't get a chance to vent. So I think it's healthy. I think it's healthy. Now when she talking about, I had left and I went to my mom and daddy house, and then I just needed a minute. And then my daddy, being my dude that he is,
Your daddy being your daddy.
he said he used different verbiage. So when he used the different verbiage, uh, Mrs. Deirdra Mobley Jr. was not happy about that, because in her mind she said, "But I need some space too. I need a break too." Where he need a break from? So
I think what my verbiage was how do you take a break from your family? Um,
and I would say this: if how can I put this nicely? If you feel like you need to take a break from your family, then the break ain't what you need. It's probably communication.
Yeah, because there's obviously something that's
Because
going on.
if your family get on your nerve, and let me be clear, I'm not saying that my family doesn't get on my nerve every now and everybody get on somebody's nerve at some point in time.
Yep.
The difference is at 51 and 37, 38 years together is I say it to her. But she understands when I say it. Now she do come back with something sharp when I say it. Always.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
But she'll say, I give you your little space. Just talk to me when you're ready. I'll be downstairs. Talk to me when you're ready.
Now,
I'll be over here. That's what I equivalated from when you tell me. You might not use that verbiage, but that's what I hear.
No, you really need.
That's what you said earlier. Well, I can't say it.
You need to stop. I don't say that to you. What the difference is, and let me say, it hasn't always been like this because we're so in sync that I know when you need time to decompress. I know when you got a lot on your mind and you need to drive it out.
Yeah.
You know, instead of him needing to literally get in his vehicle and drive it out, like literally drive somewhere, because I think there was a time that you did that as well.
Yeah.
He actually now I know when he goes to play his game, his driving game, or when he will go to the throne, that's the toilet. He'll go in there and he'll he'll be looking at stuff on TikTok. He'll be looking at the motivational stuff on YouTube. Sometimes it's um, music videos or dance videos. That's a pastime of his. But I know when you need that time, so I don't make a fuss. Now that wasn't my testimony before, but again, now we're so in sync that I know when you need that time. And sometimes if his game is in our sitting area, and so what normally happens if we are together and he breaks away from me, I know he'll be like, well, you'll be like, I'm talking about you like you're not here. You'll be like, babe, I'm a go drive for a minute, and I'll be like, okay. And so automatically what that says to me is that you got a lot going on in your head. You need the time to decompress, to just kind of puts, as you say, there are times that you just don't want all that stuff running around in your head, and you kind of need to settle it. And so you'll go driving. So I know that. So if I'm upstairs with you, I'll lay in the bed and then just watch the other TV.
Right.
And you'll put your headphones on and you'll play your game, and I'm okay with that. Was there a time when or I know that if you grab your glasses and your phone, that you're going in the bathroom? And you'll be like, okay, babe, I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be like, okay, well, I'll see you in about 4 hours. And then you'll be like, I'm not going to be in there for that long. So normally it's like 3 hours and 59 minutes. But
it's not.
Did nobody ask you for your opinion, Jameson?
It's that's what it feels like.
Normally it could be an hour. It could be an hour and a half. For him it's never that quick.
That would it feel like to her.
About 40. It's about an hour and a half for him. But I'm okay with that. Now, when we first, and this can resonate probably with some people who are newly married. Hopefully, if this is what you were going through, you've graduated from that. If you got married early, younger, and your relationship has matured. Back then, what I took that as him not wanting, or him wanting to spend time away from us, him wanting to, even Amir, when the guys came down and y'all spent the day on the golf range. And
that just happened last year.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Not because it couldn't have happened.
No,
y'all, everybody's schedule was good for y'all to do it.
Yeah.
And so what that did, we were away from each other. I was actually at one of the girls' house because one of our daughters had just had a baby. And so the guys came down and they spent that Saturday at the golf course literally all day. I had just come back home, so I literally slept and relaxed all day, and then they came home that night, and I think I may have come downstairs to get something to eat,
Yeah.
and we came right back upstairs because he was chilling, with his dudes, and for me that was okay. But I wasn't always that way when we were married in the beginning, earlier stages of the marriage. I thought that anytime that he didn't want to be with me, that something was going on, something was wrong. Especially if I were to hear, just can I get I need a moment, can I get a minute, I need some time. I really took that to heart, and I didn't know how to deal with that. But what I found was there are times when I just want to be chilling, and if it's on social media, if it's listening to worship music, if I might be enthralled in reading something that I really want to finish reading, or a movie that I want to finish watching, and you give me that space. You give me that time to do whatever it is that I need to do.
Yeah.
And it's actually healthy, because literally, think about it, you get no time to be by yourself. Again, this is a mature Deidra. When I wasn't as mature, I wanted it, I felt like he needed, if you weren't at work, I felt like you needed to be doing stuff with us, interacting with us, for you to want to come home and decompress. It wasn't because I was being selfish or inconsiderate about it. I just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And there was a difference there. Um, and so I was reading after I came up, after me and my son in love, I was asking him some questions, and this was a topic that he posed. And again, Johnny said this was a topic that he spoke to his client last night. And it talks about this. I found this article on verywellmind.com, and it was talking about that you can it's okay to balance time, and time with each other, time away from each other, if that's what you're doing. If I'm doing something with the girls, or doing something else, if Johnny's gonna go out and do something with the guys, then I'm okay with that. We're wired a little differently. And not that we're the only ones, but we enjoy spending time with one another, because Johnny, I'm home now, he's working from the office. um if there's, on the weekend, that is our chill time, and so we enjoy being around one another. But again, I had to mature into knowing what different things that his what do you call it, your posture, your demeanor, what that was saying. Sometimes I can tell you, or I can know that you're dealing with a lot, or there's a lot going on, or that you're in a freer space, or whatever that looks like, just because we've been together for so long.
Yeah. And let
Yeah.
me add this. Highly suggest that when you have these times, especially if you're married, that it be in a place in your home. Some men they have a man cave. Some women have women caves. Um,
She shares.
yeah, whatever the case is. Um, have a library in your house or something like that. Some place where you can have that time. If you do that with friends, then I would say highly suggest that the friends that you do that with are married. And the reason I say that is we've talked about this before. Married people think different than single people. Um, I wouldn't suggest that you leave and go off by yourself. Some marriages and couples have that where they can do it. They can go off, and the husband can go get dinner and just sit down and relax at a sports bar or something like that, and watch a game or something like that, interact with some other people that there. Same thing for the women. I don't We don't highly recommend that. Um, but it is done. We know it is done. I would say have some place in your home that which you can do it. If you got a lot of little kids, like my client, me and him talked last night, and even with him having little kids make a lot of noise running around and he can hear them, I told him just get that place to where you can have that time. Everybody knows that all the house is free range except this over here. Daddy and they, he got an hour. Give him that, and then we'll holler at him after that. So we'll holler at him when he come out. Yeah. So sometimes you just need that.
That's just about communicating that.
Yeah.
And kind of creating that space or creating that time or that boundary in that moment.
Yeah.
To say, give Dad a moment and let him
Yeah.
get his bearings, or he got some things he got to work through, or just his time to work on some things for himself. It says when your partner announces that they need space, it can set off alarm bells, but it doesn't have to mean that something is wrong. In the article, they talked about reasons your partner might want space, the do's and don'ts, suggestions for how to handle the situation or if one of the spouses feel a certain type of way. Like I told y'all, that was our experience in the beginning with me. It says when they desire for space signals a problem, managing opposite needs regarding closeness, space, and all those things. And so some of the things, the suggestions that they gave of why your partner might want space, they said it very well may not have to do with nothing with the other spouse, as far as that spouse not wanting to spend time with them. It gave some reasons like you may want to have that male interaction to spend time with your dudes, and y'all just talk about life and talk about as you always tell me, iron sharpen iron, and y'all when y'all get together, y'all can not only play golf but just talk about life and maybe things that have gone right, things that have gone wrong, and just really share with each other as brothers the same way that you know the women do when they get together with their girlfriends and stuff like that. So it may be, and that's how that to me, again, this is the mature Deidra. That's healthy. I want you. I can appreciate the fact that you get around other dudes who are, highly intelligent guys. They're their husbands, and they are intentional about their relationship with their women.
Yeah.
They take care of their families, and y'all get together and y'all talk about may bounce business ideas off of one another, or just whatever y'all talk about is productive. Yeah. It's conducive. Y'all can talk about God and talk about being of course you don't tell me all the things that y'all talk about, but I know that it encourages you in a different way.
Yeah.
And so I welcome that. I don't want to be the only one. Of course, I'm your personal prophet and all those, your biggest cheerleader and all those things. But I respect the fact that you have men in your life, because there was a time when you didn't have that.
Right.
And so I appreciate the fact that you do now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I embrace that. It says you are able to was reasons why your partner might want space. It says it could be in different aspects of the relationship. You might just need time to take a breath, to deal with thoughts that you're having, to deal with maybe because in all actuality, we all as just human beings, sometimes we need a moment to just kind of figure out where we are in life. And we might have things going on with us that we may not even understand. So we need to sit down by ourselves and take a moment to kind of work through that. Now, if it becomes like a major issue where you're not ever wanting to spend time with your spouse, then y'all need to explore that and see what that looks like.
Yeah, and that's why I said taking that time in the home, if possible. At one time after work, every week on Friday, we would go to Applebee's and drink beer. Just me and about 3 or 4 different dudes. All of them were married.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And truth be told, everybody wasn't happily married. They was going
Solid in
through
their
stuff.
marriages, yeah.
So, you know, we would use that time to talk about
The
difference.
wives and Ben and
the difference between the conversations I have now with my pillars in my life is that they ask questions. How would you deal with this? This is what I'm dealing with, you know, my wife. This is what we're going through right now. What's your give me your intake, give me your input on that.
yeah, your opinion.
Tell me what you think versus what it was before. She don't ever do this. She don't ever do that. I'm gonna trade her in. The waitress come up. Oh, shawty look good. This, that, and the other. You know, all us got eyes. You ain't got to say that and then talk to her and then she over there geeky and cackling. We don't need none of that.
She cackling, baby.
She like it. She kikiing and you know, at this point, she probably ain't trying to get with nobody. She just trying to, okay, y'all getting a little drunk. All y'all here, let me go ahead and be nice to y'all and flirt so I get a big tip. And that's what usually happens. So, but I mean, it's not productive. It didn't help anything. It wasn't solution minded or nothing. You know, after we had hours of conversation while being intoxicated, we just went back home to our same situation with no answers, no solutions, no nothing. Yeah. So it just got bigger every week. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So and then I want to say we started staying out later and later because it was just a couple of hours.
Later and later.
So you know, it just evolves into something that it doesn't need to be. Whereas, you know, with my dudes, we'll go golfing. We usually do a weekend of it. So we'll go golfing. Everybody's married. You know, when we finish golfing, we come home, take a shower, we prepare to eat or whatever. And, you know, while we eating, we chatting. After we eating, you know, we'll find a movie or something to watch. But in between that, everybody FaceTiming with their wife and their kids. And then they talking to them, they laughing with them, they talking to their kids, all that. So that wasn't a part of what happened before. I can honestly say in my mind, when I said I needed a moment, I needed space. Like sometimes I felt like I could take about 2-3 days and just be by myself and then I'll be back. That type of stuff. And it wasn't necessarily because my wife and my kids were bad. We had issues at the time, but that never changed. We still have issues, but we handle them way different. So the issues now are we grab a hold of it together. Whenever we do have issues, we grab hold of it together, and then we both solution minded. We're not blaming each other, which most of the time that's what happened. The reason I'm here and I feel like this is because she did, or the reason I'm here and I'm feeling like I am because he did, or what he didn't do, or whatever the case is. And a lot of that might be true, but where are you putting those statements at? Are you giving them to something or someone who can help you figure it out, or you're just venting and then opening yourself up to whatever? Because people don't realize is when you're venting to someone is when you're the most open, when you're the most vulnerable. Because if they're listening and you're talking and you continue to talk and it just keep elevating and elevating and elevating, now you all the way here talking about details in your marriage or relationship that, you know, this person probably don't even need to know. And that then I go back to my player years, the way I say, so basically you just gave dude the playbook on how to make you happy, and he just gonna say all the right things because you just told him what the issue was with your husband, or vice versa. That's how it happens. It's not that nobody has the intention on making these changes or helping you with this stuff. They just know what's bothering you, and now they're telling you the right things. They give you the right words to let you know, I'll never do that to you. If I was her, I probably would have did this. Or if I was him, I probably would have moved like this. And it's all the things you want to hear. Now, granted, you ain't got no history, no evidence or nothing that this person is even capable of doing these things. They're just saying it.
Right.
And just from them saying it makes you feel good because you're venting, giving them the playbook. They're coming back with all the right answers, all the right sayings, the words, and then but you have no results of them actually being a person that can actually do that. And that's the part, that we kind of miss, because you just want somebody to hear you and then say the right stuff, but you also want them to do the right stuff too to help, fill that gap or close the gap.
Yeah. Another part of this where it was saying, you know, I need space or I need time. It's saying that, of course, if you all have been in conflict, if y'all have been fussing, arguing, and stuff like that, of course, time warranted apart to cool off. Of course, that's always a good idea. If you all have been having intense fellowship, as Johnny and I call it, then it is a good time to split, go apart. Again, we suggest maybe a different room in the house to kind of get your thoughts together. They're separate areas of the house to get your thoughts together, and cool off until you can come back together and have a level-headed, clear conversation with one another. Excuse me. And so,
Let me add something right there. One of the
yes,
things that we tell our couples is, and I want y'all to listen, when you're gonna have feelings, emotions will rise, not always for the better. Stuff will be said, but when you feel what you feel and your emotions help elevate that or push it, there's no law nowhere says you got to speak exactly what you're feeling up. It was in your head right then.
hmm,
You can pause, and that's what we
right,
call it. We call it pause. Just pause, take a minute, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We always suggest that you come back and talk about it the same day. So nothing is forgotten, nothing is pushed up under the rug or anything. But you need to, go to your corners and get your thoughts together. So whatever y'all talk about, it'll be clarity in what you're saying and not a bunch of gibberish,
right.
not a bunch of your feelings. Because your feelings go come and they go. And like we told y'all before, your emotions are loyal to what?
Your
And that's it. So are
feelings.
you feeling good, bad, nasty, different, whatever the case is, your emotions heighten that. That's the adrenaline for you to push to go higher than whatever that is you're doing. So
Yeah.
that's what your emotions are loyal to.
Yeah. And it says having space can help you both regulate your emotions.
Yeah.
Basically, what Johnny was just talking about. It also talks about that researchers found that individuals benefit positively when they actively choose time alone, and it's used for the regulation of emotions. And this is not so much talking about after you've fought or, you know, intense fellowship, arguing, all that stuff. But just in general, it helps people, that it benefits us positively when we use it for regulation of emotions, self reflection, relaxation, or creative pursuits.
Yeah.
And it says evidence is also showed that people have reduced stress and increased relaxation during these alone periods. That could explain why during relationship a person might need that space to just have time to think. Another one of my times for myself is my shower times. I have extended shower times. At times I do, not every time, but at times, especially when I need to pray, talk to God. The acoustics in my shower in the bathroom are amazing. And so that's my worship time, prayer time, and just conversation with God. It helps bring clarity. It helps me to hear Him um, better. It helps me to focus and all that good stuff. And so um, you want to encourage that time to for your spouse. Nine times out of ten, Johnny will tell me, like, he'll say, well, during my worship time or during this time, this is what the Lord gave me, or this is a revelation that I had, or this I was listening to this and it helped me with this, that, or the other. But if I'm always trying to occupy his time and always trying to, even though I would really, you know, get in his skin if I could, I realized that I need to. And it's good for him to have some time for himself as well as me to have time for myself as well too. It says how to handle your partner's need for space. Ask yourself, could there be a logical cause for them wanting to have space? And all the things that I named are very good reasons.
Yeah.
Why? Um, it's okay. He doesn't. You don't, because one of the things was saying it's okay to if you don't know, and this is what I should have done earlier in the marriage, to ask you, like, when you said that, like, are you okay? Are we okay?
Yeah.
Um, do you need to talk to me about anything? How can I serve you better? Well, I didn't know that verbiage, of course, when we were newly married, but are you okay? Is your mental okay? Is there anything that I can do to help with
Yeah.
it? Instead of that, I always jump to the defense, in a defensive posture, or like, well, it must be something wrong. I must have done something, or he just being he angry with me, or just whatever. That was my
Or
initial conversation.
the reason for me asking for that time had to do with you.
Right.
So these times can be positive. If your husband or your wife says they need a moment, then give them that. They might have something that
Excuse me.
they got on their heart that they might want to try to jot down and see where it might go, or a business venture, or just like Deirdra said, or just write some stuff down, or talk to God, or don't do nothing, or play a game on their phone without interruptions, and play a game on their video game without interruptions. Whatever that looks like, allow that to happen.
Right.
And believe it or not, it'll bring clarity. It'll bring some of the, I can't think of the word. It'll settle you.
Yeah.
It'll settle you a lot different. It's tough for you to go from thing after thing after thing on a daily basis without breathing.
Yeah.
That's at different levels that pull on you every day, all day. Home, work, wherever, volunteer, wherever to pull on you all day. If you don't never get that time to just give me a minute to breathe.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute to breathe. Give me a second. Let me shut my eyes for a minute. Let me just sit here. And I ain't gotta do nothing. Just let me do this. Let me just sit here. That's it. Just let me sit here. It's time to where my moments is, coming downstairs, finding a movie on the TV, turning the surround sound on, and just watching 2 movies. And then I'm good. I'm good. My wife don't like how loud I have it, but most of the time she'll be upstairs. She'll be watching what she watching, and I'll be downstairs watching 9 times out of 10 some kind of action movie or something.
Sci-fi.
Oh yeah, sci-fi or Marvel superhero something in that era. But it's not when you hear "give me a minute" or "take a break," and if you automatically feel like they don't want you, or what did you do, then you need to check yourself. There's something in you that you need to work on.
Yeah.
Or it's a conversation that you need to have, just like Deirdra said. You can ask questions.
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Instead of making up these scenarios in your mind.
Yeah.
And don't badger your spouse. Well, why you don't want to spend time with me? What you mean you need a minute, or you need
You've
to
been
take
gone
just
for
a moment,
14
or
hours.
you need to take some time, or just whatever.
This is what I used to hear. You've been gone for 14 hours. I've been here with these kids all day, and now I need some adult conversation, and now you ain't got time for me. He said I ain't got time for you. I said, just give me a minute. That's all I said. Just give me a minute. Take all the time you want. That's fine. You don't want me? That's fine. That's not what that means. But we so much better now.
We are.
We so much better.
We're better together.
Yeah.
Always and forever.
And she keeps saying stuff like, in my skin, I'm
not. everything is everything can be. You have to get to a point to where you're mature enough to sit down and have the conversation of, like I said, I think it's okay to ask your spouse. And like I said, some of the things that I wish that I was equipped with earlier on, but it is what it is. To ask, babe, are you okay? Is there something I can do? I can help, help with. And if they tell you no, then just give them that moment to get their thoughts together, get their emotions together, get everything together. I'm a better person if I know that I need to take a moment to process how I'm feeling, to really um, like really sit in my feelings or deal with my emotions or figure out what's going on. And if there comes a point in time to where I'm at a battle with that, then I can always say to you, babe, I need your ear. Babe, I need your lap.
Yeah.
I need you to help me figure this one out. And you're most accommodating. You mainly will take that time, and if there's some things that you've been dealing with, I still sometimes have to say, hey, what's that?
And then
Sometimes you'll say, hey, can we, I need to talk. And I'll be like, oh, okay. But a lot of the times I'll be like, hey, what's that?
and then
And then you'll share it.
most of the time my talking is, so the way we do it is different. Deidre will come ask me questions and wait for an answer. I talk like very transparently, and then it's almost like I talk about the situation, then I kind of answer it myself, and then I kind of go through stuff. So it's like I kind of figure it out, but she's my sounding board. And then she will always say, well, babe, consider this. I was like, yep, that's the answer I was looking for. So sometimes I still got to move out of my way, because I'll talk, but then I'll be like, well, I probably can do this. Or I might can do this. Or what if I did this? And then she'd be silly, because she'd be like, what you raising your hand for? Ain't nothing but me and you in here. Consider
'Cause I want
this.
to know if you
That's what she say.
finished.
Consider this. And then she'll say something, and it be dead on most of the time. And I'll be like, yep. And then I don't know if after she done did that twice, then I kind of start asking questions and letting her give me, because she be kind of a sniper at that time. So I'm like, yeah, let me just stop doing all this talking and let me say some stuff and let her give it back to me. So you got to figure that out. Allow your spouse to be who they are, the
Yeah,
growth.
that's it.
And if you want to, if you're asking the question of how do I mature to get to this place, maturity comes with patience and listening, and then communicating. Patience, listening, and communication. Most of the time, you guys can figure stuff out if you listen to your spouse exactly what they're saying,
Uh-huh.
have patience with it, do the pause, construct a productive question or a statement that will be clear enough to get you an answer back, a clear answer, and then work through it. Most people, when they hear words that trigger them, then they just go to 10. Now you finna get all these feelings with these emotions, and then you pull the other person in, and then both of now y'all arguing about a whole bunch of stuff going all the way to the left. Y'all done said a whole bunch of stuff that y'all don't mean, but you trying to one up each other. You trying to, you punch me in my face, I'm gonna punch you back type deal. And it's not productive at all.
Right.
And it just
Yeah.
plants different seeds in your head to make you think, especially if your spouse is still trying to grow in themselves and be self-confident. So it just plants seeds of, well, they think I'm this because that's what they called me. Or they think I'm that, and that's what they said. And I know you told me the truth about how you feel, and you don't like the way my breath smell, and you talking about behind my earlobe stank, and you ain't never heard no woman like that. Yeah, it's just a whole lot of stuff that they ain't said. But the Bible says, what the Bible say, child, about the words? Life and death Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So there's literally,
like the Bible said, a lot, baby.
yeah. So there's literally,
Yeah.
I
The power
believe,
of the tongue is power.
yeah. So I believe in psychology, I believe that words can hurt you way worse than a bullet, than a knife, than anything. The difference between that is if somebody cuts you or stab you, you know exactly what it is, where it came from. You know if you need to get stitches, you know all that stuff. When people say words, it penetrates your mind, and then it plants a seed in your head that can literally change your perspective of how you see stuff and see yourself. And then that takes a little something different to try to heal that or try to move that or try to get there. It just takes something different. So the words do hurt a lot more. They go a lot deeper and they hurt a lot more. Now, I'm not saying stab your husband or your wife instead of saying what you got to say. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying use your words. Use your words. Be mindful of the words that you use. Me and my wife can say just about anything to each other and still honor each other and still be respectful. Period. It took us a while to get there, but we there.
Absolutely.
And the one thing that we can say about each other, I allow my wife to be unequivocally 100% who she is. It's no be who you are in the totality, as you evolve, and in the moments. Those are the three things. In totality of who you are at the time, as you grow, things change, and in the moment. Those moments to where emotions and be all that. Be all that. And I'm in a place of understanding to know what is what. So yeah, sometimes we do say a little hurtful things to each other, but we know each other's heart and I know what is what. So if she says something to me that stings in a conversation that we're having, a tense conversation, I don't say, well, you said such and such and such, and then I don't say that. I go through all that. I go through the weeds. I find the stuff that I'm looking for, and then I comment on that. And that's the same thing my wife do. Now, like I said, it took a while. It took a long time for us to get here, but we here now. We started from the bottom. Now we here. So.
Started from the bottom. Now we here.
Hopefully this helped you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
For all things Mobley, www.momentswiththemobleys.com, and on Twitter, Mobley Moments.
Very good. That's nice.
Any questions? No. Any questions that you might have? Anything you might want to communicate with us? Anything that will be at info@momentswiththemobleys.com.
You did real good tonight.
I am your man. This has been Moments with the Mobleys. I am your man, Johnnie Mobley Jr.
And I'm his wife, Deirdra.
And we still like an ordinary couple. Something like an ordinary couple.
With extraordinary purpose.
I should get this right because I've been doing it for 3-4 years now. Peace out, y'all.
Night.
Don't judge me. I ain't perfect.